Okay, this is the Dove Lady, and I was just making a video and I messed it up so bad that I'm redoing it. But I had come to I was showing pictures in my album, and I came to something I recorded. I'm going to play it because it fits exactly with what I was talking about. And what I was talking about was how we're creating our reality with our thoughts. And if we don't like what we see around us, which a lot of us don't like, we got to change our thoughts. And I forgot that I made this recording because this is exactly what this person is talking about. So I'm going to play it first. It's about 6 minutes long.
Declaration out into the universe, setting an intention for your future. And there is also a loss of divine power by not declaring a very clear intent for your existence, simply being guided by the will of forces external to oneself. If, down to the atomic level, we and everything around us is nothing but pure energy made manifest in the form that we perceive it to be, then by that nature, we as the conscious perceivers are essentially hallucinating our reality into existence. In every moment, we're creating this shared illusion of which we've all agreed to call reality. As a universal consciousness, our individual minds act as antennas that both send and receive stimuli to and from the universe at all times. What we perceive of our reality is reflected back to us in the stimuli that we experience. And what we experience in turn constructs our individual lens through which we perceive reality as individuals. This is why the one who surrenders to disempowering force, the one who makes little effort to change negative subconscious patterns, the one who feels that the world is against them and that evil will surely prevail and no one can do anything about it, often continues to experience negative patterns in their lives because they're creating that reality for themselves. They're emitting that energy and allowing themselves to live out that existence within this illusion. And whereas those who follow feelings of empowerment, concepts that draw the mind into altered and lifted states of being, of acknowledging not just our five senses, but the deeper, unexplainable knowing beneath this three-dimensional suit of armor that surrounds our nervous system. Those who have had a taste of the infinite, the abundant, the divine, who refuse to allow themselves to accept anything less than the pure and beautiful magnificence this illusion of reality can give to us. These are the beings who experience what our collective society has come to acknowledge as success, the fulfilling and meaningful life mission, the abundant financial wealth, the beautiful love life. These are the people who not only hallucinate an empowering existence into their own reality and the reality of others, but who have the pleasure of following the signs of which their subconscious mind creates in their reality. This is the result of a more favorable energy being emitted from one's mind out into the ether of existence. An exchange of energy between the conscious nervous system that has been gifted with the understanding of its existence. An agreement between one's subconscious mind and the entirety of the universe. A feedback loop of creation, if you will. I watch back all of these videos that I create because it's an energy exchange, a declaration of what I'm admitting. I repeat over and over in my mind every day how I'm going to acquire massive financial wealth with which I can help myself and the world around me. How I'm going to lead countless millions of souls to a more abundant life. How I'm going to guide others in their journey from stages in front of audiences of tens of thousands one day and across social media. How I'm going to bring mass awareness and support to the vulnerable and the innocent across our world. How I'm going to contribute towards solving some of humanity's biggest issues in our world that threaten us and all life on this planet. And how I'm going to experience the most satisfying and beautiful love life I could ever hallucinate into this reality.
Okay, that's the end of that.
Okay.
I will stop it on this. And then I will just talk to you about, that was exactly what I was trying to say in the video that I had to discard because I messed it up so terribly. Is that we are creating with our thoughts, and the ones that are controlling our thoughts are the medias that we listen to. And even our own selves, because a lot of us use Facebook and we post things. I used to post a lot of things that were real negative that are going on, and maybe they're true even. But I don't do that anymore, because why spread this part of the illusion that isn't real anyway? I mean, it's true enough in that it's happening in this illusion. But the truth is we're in an illusion, and the illusion is very ill because of some of the thoughts and imagination that has brought us to the point we're at now. And it only continues to be bad because we continue to believe it and spread the word about how bad it is. That is not helping. That only just keeps it going. And we do this innocently enough. I mean, it's not that we willingly desire to make things worse. We think we're alerting people about what's bad that's going on. But what we need to do, if we tell of something, say, that's the government's doing that is hurtful, or any group or organization or corporation is doing, always have the answer of what we can do, how we can imagine them changing their mind or having a better ideal that is going to replace the ideal that they're doing that is not so good. Always tell the story of it without the doom and gloom ending that mostly we put on things like that, if it's worth repeating at all. And then really post a lot of the good things that are going on, because there's good things going on. They don't always make the news, because you know the news, how it caters to the horror stories because they're more sensational. And but they also are training our minds to think that everything is terrible and getting worse. Doesn't have to be that way. What we need is good storytellers, illustrators, movie makers that show us a beautiful world that we can have and will have, because it is entirely possible we'll do it with our thoughts. Everything before it is anything is a thought, and the thought is the more powerful part of it. The invisible creates the visible. And when we use our imagination, it's real much like knowing a thing. When I've read the book of the Masters of the Far East, their knowing caused creation to happen. They had no doubt that they knew, and so whatever they knew happened. If they wanted a loaf of bread to appear right out of the thin air, a loaf of bread would appear, and they could eat it. And there's people in this world that don't have enough food or housing or comfort in so many parts of the world. That could be so easily taken care of if we imagine differently. I know it sounds like pie in the sky, like, oh, well, that would never work. Just send them blessings. But what we need to do is go over there and actually physically do something. Well, do all you can do physically, but also while you're doing it, use your imagination, because Jesus multiplied the bread, remember? And he said we would do even greater things than he did. Don't imagine that you can only do what you're physically capable of doing, because that's just a little part of manifestation. Manifestation has to do with your knowing There's even a Bible verse that said, "Whosoever shall say to this mountain, be removed, be thou cast into the sea, and not doubt in his heart, but believe the things he says, he shall have whatsoever he says." Now this is faith. This is not faith in a doctrine like, oh, only Jesus saves or something like that. No, this is faith in the words that come out of your very own mouth. This is saying, my words I will send out, and they will accomplish all I send them out to do. And whose name do we do it in? Our name. Our belief in our own words that we do not doubt in our heart are true. And it's the hardest thing in the world to do, is to doubt something that you don't see. Let me see, I said that wrong. The hardest thing in the world is to see something and to say it's not real and it will not affect me when it looks like it really is going to. We call things like our eyes see them, but our eyes are part of the five senses that deceive us every day into thinking we're only just in a body. That's as big as we are, but we're more than that. We're creators. We don't see our bigger self. If we could, and if we knew that bigger self, we'd know that we're in control of all that we see, that everything we see can change with our thoughts, with our perception of what we're looking at. If we're looking at something that looks only bad, imagine it looking the way we want it to look, even though physically, right this second, it doesn't look that way. Because remember, things can change in the twinkling of an eye. Because the things that you're judging are things that are the illusion. Illusion is a mind trap. We're caught in a minefield. People give us this idea that this is so bad, and we buy that. We've swallowed that. We've hit that landmine, and now we think the same way. No, we can't continue to do that. We have to make up our story of what we see and make it a good one. And I think it helps if people get together and illustrate the things that we want to see happen in our world and demonstrate it in like the science fiction writers did, that had such a great degree of accuracy about what they prophesied would be, inventions and things like that. Because when we can outpicture it, Hollywood is really good at showing us how to do that. And we make the stories good with a win-win at the end, not where one has to play the bad guy and someone the good guy. No, win-win for both the light and the dark in the story. Because the light and the dark can dwell together and in harmony. There's a reason that this deception that's going on that makes us think everything is so terrible and that there are such terrible people in the world, there's a reason that they're in our life to teach us something we came here to learn, which is unconditional love, which our friends cannot teach us because they're too easy to love. Our enemies, Jesus said, love your enemies. There's power in loving your enemies. Love them into the light. That doesn't mean you condone what they're doing. It means that you're not going to demonize them and make them like they're of no value. Now, I've had to do it about the president because I didn't like Trump. I still think he's pretty much of a rascal, but I don't hate him the way I used to hate him. I've decided that he's being used for a good purpose to show us what is in our own selves, only he's making it such an exaggerated picture of what it is that we can finally see that, yeah, in a lot of ways, we've acted just like he has. And when we can see it in ourselves, we can heal it, and then it will be healed in others, even the ones that are in positions of power. but by loving the enemy. It's a powerful thing to do. And by imagining only that is good and of a good report, and changing the words that come out of our mouth. There's a scripture that says, who can alter his words aright will see the salvation of God. If you can alter your words, because that little tongue is set on fire of hell. That's what it says. I don't believe in the Bible so much, but there are some jewels in there. And it says the tongue is our enemy because it's set on fire of hell. We love to gossip and talk about what's wrong. We can use that little tongue to talk better. And we can use it to describe what's in our imagination and what we want to see and what we will see. And then learn not to use the word want, like I want this. I just used it, so you see it's hard to remember not to use that. Know something instead of wanting. Believe something, because if you're believing something and wanting something, you're not going to get what you want. You're going to get what you believe. Because want is saying, I don't have. And if you say, I don't have to the universe says right back to you, okay, you don't have. You want this? You will continue to want it because you keep saying, I want it. So let's imagine what we want and imagine ourselves having, and then we're creating a space for it to be. If we don't create the space for it to be, it won't be. So let's believe for the best, and let's spread the good news instead of spreading all the gossip about what's wrong, what's going on, and adding to it. And promoting it, thinking that we're just warning people so maybe they can vote differently or maybe they can do something. What we can do is change the storyline by painting a better picture, a wonderful picture. Get together with others on what we want that picture to look like, how we want our world to be. And we can have a perfect, wonderful world. And it's entirely possible to do it in our lifetime. I've been getting messages from Spirit that I'll be part of helping that happen. A little part, but that it will happen in my lifetime, and I'm 73 years old, so it's going to happen pretty soon. That makes me feel a lot of encouragement. We can create with words, with thoughts, with our imagination. And we got to watch that little tongue. And if you agree with